Hi, I'm Jules and welcome back to my little studio. If you've been following me, then you will have seen that we would have been in Lyme Park in Cheshire last week, and we took some wonderful video footage there of the magnificent scenery that's around there and the magnificent house that goes with it. It would be very much probably out of season, I would say, really, at the moment there. It's much better to go later in the year. The cows are more roaming free then, where at the moment they are not, because they are calving, so we have to keep our distance. The deer we keep a distance from as well, you can't really get that close either. But for the inspiration that I looked around there, because we're a bit limited on flowers and trees and anything with leaves at the moment, because it was a bit early in the season with it being mid-March. So Highland cattle was what I wanted to paint. That was my inspiration, and unfortunately not being able to get a good photo there didn't stop us getting a good photo on the way back home when we saw some in a field of a farm. So that is my inspiration. That is what I'm going to be painting today. So as part of my journey on our videos of walk, inspire and paint, this is the paint version, and now I shall get ready and do some painting. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Right, so here we go. We're about to start on this Highland cow, and I'm using acrylics, a mixture of acrylics. We've got the System 3 ones, and we've got the Liquitex, and we've got some various other ones. I'm not that fussed really which ones I use. Obviously Liquitex are the better quality and cost more money, but for this particular purpose I don't really need to spend a lot of money to do this. But to be honest, I don't find much difference with any of them. They all seem to do a really good job. I think it's probably down to longevity, and also some are a little bit more perhaps fluid than others, some are a little bit more thick, and others a little bit more luminous. So it comes on personal preference. As usual, I'm just starting off with the outline here of the Highland cow. I am just putting in the basic shape of what I want it to be. I'm only doing the head, I'm not doing the whole body on this one, just the head. And I've printed off a picture of the head, and I won't stick rigidly to it. I will sort of deviate, a bit of artistic license here and there, but in general it will be similar to the photograph that we took. Now at this point I've done the rough outline of the cow, and now I'm just starting to apply some colour. I generally try to go for mid-tones to put the colour on, so I've got a base to work from. I can go darker tones and I can go lighter tones too. The actual eyes on the cow are not really visible on Highland cattle. The fur sort of covers it quite a bit, so I haven't got to worry too much about eyes. The nose, again, is something I'll probably work on later. That is just in position of roughly where it's going to go, and we're just going to build up now the basic colour. As we can see, the cow is building up nicely, the colours. We're getting a few little features to develop in there. We're starting to show a little bit of fur coming on. When it comes to colours, I am absolutely terrible for not actually naming colours. I know most artists sort of say we've used carmine this, or we've used burnt umber, or whatever. And I am awful for not doing that, or even noticing, to be honest. I just pick up a rough colour, what I want to use. I'll put it in my palette, and then I'll just mix other tones with it to get where I want to get, without even noticing really what colours I'm using. So I'm afraid I'm going to be a bit useless when it comes to saying what colours I've actually used. There would definitely be some burnt umber in there, that's for certain, and some other browns and some oranges and some reds. So there will be a mixture, but what they actually are, I can never remember for love nor money, and I never even think of writing it down or acknowledging it. So if you're following along or wanted to paint this, then I should just say go for browns, oranges and reds and a bit of yellow and see what you get. Totally unprofessional, I understand this. But that's just how I happen to work. I just don't, when I'm in the flow, I don't pay attention really to what I'm actually doing. I just sort of go with it. As you can see now, we've built it up quite considerably. We've got a lot more fur definition, the colours have sort of grown more, it's filling out more, it's actually starting to look more like a Highland cow. There's still work obviously to be done with different areas, a bit more darkening, and certainly the nose needs more work. We're working overlaying, overlaying and overlaying as usual. We're just going over and over and over, using different colours, different tones. The more different colours you use, the more natural looking, I suppose it is, because you know everything in nature is a multitude of colours. It isn't just one colour. So the more you go over it with different colours, I mean, you could continue for quite a long time doing that, and it's just a matter of knowing when to stop. But it is a bit of a monotonous thing to go over and over at the same time. But each time you do that, you see it come alive a little bit more, have a little bit more depth. So it's worth doing. So you just keep going over and over it, and just try different colours as well. I mean, colours that you might not even consider are part of it, are always part of it. So just try different things. Now at this point I'm starting to get towards the end. I can just keep playing with it over and over again, but I'm thinking it's starting to look okay. It's just touching up here and there, finishing off a few bits. Now, this is when disaster struck, or it could have been a lot worse. You have to be careful. I mean, I'm going to show the mistakes I make along the way, whether that's in painting or other things like this will be. Now, what did I do? Silly me. When you're pulling off your tape, remember that it can be very sticky, and if you're not paying attention to it, it can do something pretty drastic, like rip the paper off and halve your horn of your cow, which it did there. Thankfully it was only a small amount, but that could have been so much worse, but it did ruin the paper anyway. So it's not like I could ever mount that and frame it, because it's just the paper itself is just damaged. So it was frustrating, it was my own fault, it was a stupid thing to do, but just be aware when you pull the paper off that it can do that. Thankfully though, it can be rescued with it only being a tip, even though it's a bit iffy when it's ripped paper because it can blur and smudge everywhere, but we're rescuing it. We're going to put the tip on the end there, and hopefully it won't be too bad, but I'll have to admit I was incredibly upset that I did that. And there we go, repaired. It's not too bad, the repairs are not too bad on it at all. So we've completed. I think he's rather sweet, and it was a pleasure to paint. Well, here he is complete now. Thank you for watching. Please think about liking and subscribing to my channel if you enjoy this. Hopefully there'll be a lot more for you to see and a lot more places to visit. So thank you once again, and I'll leave you with the photos that were inspiration for the cow from the previous video. Thank you.